Just you understand.
I discuss it.
I'm trying to
be what we've come here to be. Yes, we're gonna be what we've come here to be. What if I'm a beacon of the light that shines in all of us? And what if I'm the only guide some will see? Then I must recognize within the spirit that it's only love. And I must be what I've come here to be. Yes, we're gonna be what we've come here to be. What if I did? What if I said? What if I looked around at everything with love? Love. What if I did? What if I said? What if I looked around at everything with love? What if I did? What if I said?
Begin Within Ministries proudly presents Sofa Sundays with your hosts, Reverend Dr. Michelle Izugwu and Reverend Jeannie Sovereigns. Sundays at 11:11 a.m. Arizona time and rebroadcasts on Mondays at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Come join us on the sofa every Sunday morning. Sofa Sundays with Michelle and Jeannie. Learn more at www.beginwithinministries.com. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just checking in. Happy Sofa Sundays. Just making sure you can hear us and
Checking the sound.
checking how we're doing. We're good.
Guess what? You can hear us,
Yay.
and we don't even have the mics.
Oh, they're right here.
You
Okay.
can still hear us, even
You
without
can
the
still
mics.
hear us.
There we
There's
go.
no,
This is a good sign.
No music playing in the background.
This is a
there
good
we go.
sign.
good sign.
Mhm. So
Absolutely.
there we go. All right. Well, here we are on a happy Sunday, third week in April. Stop it.
I can't even
Stop
believe we're in the third week of April.
I don't know what's
You know,
happening. We're
if
past taxes.
I know it, and I filed them and everything. Yeah,
there you go.
which is always an amazing feat for me. Did I do it months ago when I started? No.
No.
Did I finish them last Sunday night? Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, that's
am
when
I
I-
responding to that at all? No.
Yeah, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. But it was before the 15th.
Look
That's
at
all
you,
I
and that's all that really matters.
That's
I know.
really,
So hopefully the tax gods have blessed everyone and we don't have to worry
Yes.
about things.
there you go.
Mhm.
I am Reverend Jeannie Sovereigns, and this is Reverend Dr. Michelle Izugwu.
Hello.
And we are Begin Within Ministries, and this is our baby Sofa Sundays. This is what we do.
This is it.
This is part of what we do, I should say. Many, many times we have different events and experiences. Last year we had a concert in the spring. We have done labyrinth walks. We do classes. We have had drum circles. We've had sound baths. So we are an amazing place to be.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So if you'd like to be here, this is what I say to do. Come to 7220 North 16th Street in Phoenix, Arizona, 85020. We're in building A1. You'll know that because the girls are on the door. Just come and bring it.
I'm asking you to bring me that.
Yes.
You asked me to bring you a creamer too.
Well, you've been
Yeah,
over
get
it.
a
I
creamer
still need
too.
this, silly. Thank
You're
you,
just
Larry,
hanging
for
out
being
back
such
there.
a good backstage manager,
That's
soundtrack,
right.
all things extraordinary. We
things.
appreciate you.
Did you get the creamer?
She can't.
Is there none in the, no?
I'll be fine.
Okay, are you sure?
Yes, I mean,
Because, you know,
I think I can make it through.
oh, good, good,
So,
good.
Sundays.
You know, if you speak your word for good, it may manifest now.
Oh, I see my word for more creamer.
There's some in the refrigerator.
Okay, you check the date. Larry, check the date on it.
Okay, see how that works?
That was very quick.
That was.
This is
very
how we
quick.
do it here on Sofa
That's
Central.
right.
And we just wanted to, give an
have an
example,
demonstrate.
demonstrate.
You have to have a demonstration. So I brought the bowl out today
Because you know I love
because
it.
you love the bowl.
I do love the
So,
bowl.
You get to do the bowl and I will pray us in, but let me
She's the
ground
best minister
myself.
Ever.
There we go. Okay, we're ready. Just feeling that vibration, that sound coming through, knowing that where I am, where you are, the divine is. There is no place that is not the divine. We are made of God's stuff. We are God in form. And with this knowing, I speak my word for good as law. Knowing it manifest in the sacred realm, in the subtle realm, in the physical realms. Because I am hooked into the divine substance that is all-knowing, all-powerful, all of everything. And with this knowing, I send blessings to all teachers, all leaders of every faith and every country, everywhere, knowing that they are guided, guarded, and protected, and that no matter what we experience, we know that the divine lifts our world and blesses our lives. And with this, I am so grateful. I'm grateful for this time together. I am grateful for the knowing that all is well. So I let it go and I call it good. And together we say, and so it is.
Yummy.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. This is in a beautiful, beautiful week. It says, I speak my word for good and it manifests now.
Amen.
That is so expansive, so lovely. I brought this thing called You, my favorite Ernest Holmes book. My favorite. This is my original one. I have one when I lost this one in my mound of books, and and my moving and stuff. I bought another one, but this is the original one.
And we have to remind you that if you don't have this book, or if it's just a book you've never really explored, read it once. You can see how tiny, little, it's a little baby
little,
book. It's a little baby book.
Tiny book.
Little baby book.
And then go read it again and insert I.
Read
for
it
all
in the
you.
first person.
Right, read it as it's you. And it's like, it's a very
Yes.
powerful, and it is a lovely book. So.
It really is. There's so many positive affirmations, so many things in this book that I know that when I'm experiencing, grief or sadness or, depression or whatever, this is the book I pick up and just open and point. Like, this is my open and point book. Like, give me
Give me
some encouragement. So today, the one I found two that I'd like to share with everybody. This is on page 67, and it says, "You are a creator, not a creature. Today, you may be suffering from the effects of race consciousness or the human consciousness time period and your own beliefs. But today you can begin and change them. So say, I know I am one with God.
No, I'm one with God.
I know that God is in me is perfect.
I know that God,
God-
in me is perfect.
I know that my real nature is spiritual.
I know that my real nature is spiritual.
I know that I exist in a boundless good,
I know that I exist in a boundless good,
in a heavenly state,
in a heavenly state,
and in perfect being.
and in perfect being.
I know that my mind is being acted upon by pure spirit.
I know that my mind is being acted upon by pure spirit.
Divine intelligence guides me into peace,
Divine intelligence guides me into peace,
happiness,
happiness,
success,
success,
into joy,
into joy,
love,
love,
and perfect life.
and perfect life.
And so it is,
And so it is, and that is perfect.
right?
That is
That is an amazing.
Who wrote that? That man.
That Ernest Helms, right? Like he has.
who wrote that.
Oh my goodness!
My
I
goodness, that man.
just love this book. So yes, can't say enough about
What if
that.
he sat there writing that out, like, oh, this is a good one.
This is a good
Oh,
one.
this is gonna get him right here. Like, oh wait, let me add one more line because he skipped a line there. Like, oh wait, there's one more line I want to add here. It's like, oh yeah, perfect.
I think sometimes we forget that when we speak our word, that it is not random. It is not benign, right? Like it is who we are, what we think, what we believe comes out our mouths, right? And I know this is going to be hard for some of you to believe, but I know that I have a tendency sometimes to say things that I don't really want, that I don't really believe, and that I don't really expect to happen. But I say them because I'm having an emotion that triggered that response. So sometimes I'm a little sarcastic. Sometimes I'm a little negative. Sometimes I say things, because I want attention, right? And I want comfort from someone. And what happens is that when it works, it doesn't always work, so I'm grateful for that. When it works, then I do it again. So as an example, I say, I'm not feeling good, right? Oh, you poor thing. Have you had enough rest? Do you need some? Whatever. And then I'm like, oh, that felt good. I had comfort and, acceptance and acknowledgement. So now I'm going to tell 6 other people. So I get some more of that, right? And before you know it, I really don't feel good. And that's a benign example that I'm using because I do that with things like money, like, pick something, right? Wrinkles under my eyes, or relationships, or the job, or something, right? We pick something because we got a feeling, and there's nothing wrong with our feelings. There's nothing wrong with emotions. There's nothing wrong with talking about it. My point on this was, do we continue? Right? Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, yeah, this is happening to me right now, and and then getting that comfort and support. And I am speaking for myself only. I am not trying to put this on you at all. I have a tendency when I like the support to do it again and again and again. So we most teach what we need to learn. That's mine for the day.
She's outing herself.
I am outing myself.
Well, I'm sure because most humans just want to know that we matter and that we are still connected. And in those moments when you are feeling whatever that trigger was, that's an old pattern of reaching for that confirmation. Do I matter? Does anybody care? Would anybody even notice? And as soon as you get some of that, oh, that feels really good. Way better than the other feeling was. So maybe I need a little bit more. And it makes sense to continue that pattern. However, you will create that You will,
Absolutely.
you are creating more reasons for people to feel that way towards you. So you're not getting rid of that initial feeling. You're actually creating more of that, which is not what we really want to be doing. So yeah, I'm not opposed to having emotions and feeling them and dealing with them, but I certainly don't want to create from them the negative ones.
Right.
I don't want them to be,
No, but please create
What
the
I'm
positive
manifesting,
ones.
right.
Yeah.
so I want to try to say, okay, look, what's the other side of that coin, for example? You know, like when my husband was trying to get a certain job, because he's had a hard time getting a job this past year, and when he had this opportunity, this whole thing happened, and then it wound up not working out. Boy, it was pretty devastating, and I was frustrated too, you know. But at the same time, my head went to, he didn't really want that job anyway, so it's got to be for his own good. And that's what that was the first thing I said to him when he was starting to wallow in that misery and perfection. I said, well, you didn't really want that job anyway. And he said, well, you're right, I didn't really want that job. Right. So you have to at some point think God knows better and has something else coming. Instead of, woe is me, this is terrible, I'll never get a job. I mean, that's,
Right.
because that's the path that I don't want to continue down that path. I want to change that, flip that around and be like, yes, that didn't work out. That doesn't mean there's no job, never gonna get a job, can't get a job. Like, that's the wrong response to that.
Right.
Instead, if you're gonna speak good, speak your word for good, you would say, well, obviously God has something else better coming for me. And I'm gonna be prepared for that.
Right.
So I'm glad that didn't work out, or I would have missed this whole thing. And you just recently experienced
I did.
a similar situation.
Yes. And I had been talking with you this week about this this, I don't know, awareness that happened for me. I was talking about something where people tend to think it's about them. And a friend of mine said, oh yeah, I think that way. And she said, my husband thinks that way. And I went, gosh, I really don't. And not because I'm so grown or spiritually advanced. I've never thought that way. I never thought anybody was thinking about me for any reason, right? So I never thought that I mattered enough for someone to think about me. And that is why growing up, it was very important to me to get in front of people and have an audience and be the center of attention. Because when that would happen, then I was important. Then people thought about me. But I always felt the minute I was off stage, nobody thought about me again. So it has helped me in some ways, because if people are gossiping about me, it doesn't matter to me, because I don't understand that you're talking about me or thinking about me. Like,
Right.
that's a biological thing in my body, right? I don't, okay, cool, you know, like it's not a thing. So it was interesting for me, because I was like, I never think that something is about me if somebody's being passive aggressive. You have to come up to me and say, hey, this is about you for me to get
Be
it.
like, oh,
So there are benefits to this for me. But recently, I realized this when having this discussion, and I shared it with Michelle. And so that's kind of why I was seeing the part about speaking for good in my life, because I am aware that that was an operating system in my life to be the center of attention, to be acknowledged as important in people's lives. So it's, you know, like, no kidding, really? You like attention? Look at me. But, you know, for me to find that out in my heart, where that came from, was important, because now I feel, and I posted this one on Facebook, or Instagram, I don't know, but there's a quote that I found while I was looking earlier, and it says, the wick of your being is in the eternal good of the divine. Like and I thought, man, that is true. The oil of the divine, that's what we're in for our light to shine.
Right.
So it's a very different world for me today than it used to be. for my attention. Now, the things that I do to be in front of people to get attention is for all of us. I want all of us to succeed. I want all of us to grow. I want to be part of the movement that helps others believe in themselves.
Right. And create a life they love.
Absolutely.
Because that's how you do that. You have to, it has to begin within, which is why we named our ministry that way. It has to begin within ourselves to be creating outward expression of that. Right. So when you're speaking your word for good and it manifests now, that's wonderful. But what do you do about this past word that you've been speaking that wasn't so good? And that's what you're in right now. It all just seems difficult and hard, and life doesn't seem like it's handing you roses, and it seems like it's a battle every day. And I've said many times, like, well, you still have to walk through what you've created. You still have to, you're creating every second of every day.
Right.
Whether you're being intentional or not, you are a creator. You're a designer. You're designing and creating what you're experiencing. And if you're over here, poor me all the time,
Right.
you're going to be a poor me.
Exactly. And that is why Ernest Holmes on page 67
You know it.
of this thing called you says, you are a creator, not a creature. Today, you may be suffering from the effects of race consciousness and your own beliefs, but today you can begin to change them. And that was what we read.
Right.
So
I
that
noticed that
is-
when you said that.
yeah, that-
Suffering from your own, you may be suffering from your own beliefs, not from the outside world.
Right.
No one's doing that to you.
Right.
You are suffering from your own beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
Even if something did happen to you and it was really bad, you're still believing whatever it is, or you're still reacting or thinking about it however you are, that's causing
Right.
you to suffer. That's where we do have our ownership and we do have our own responsibility. And it's really hard to understand that, especially when it was an injustice happened to you.
Right.
Because it's, of course you'd say, I have every right to be this
Sure.
way about it, or I have every right to feel that way, or seek, revenge, or be angry, or whatever. And yes, you have every right to be however you want to be.
Absolutely.
You can,
But does it bring
but
you?
what are you, yeah,
Yes, your glasses are gorgeous.
what are you?
I love them.
The best.
Thank you. Yeah, I look over and I'm like, oh, they are awesome. Aren't they so cute? Oh my goodness. I love
So
them.
cute.
I love them. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
I always notice those
She notices all
accessories.
that
Yeah.
stuff. But you are going to be manifesting.
Yes.
Just keep that in mind. We never want you to spiritually bypass your emotions. We never want you to ignore what you're feeling, what you're going through. I can't imagine what someone else feels when something awful happens.
Right.
Things I see happening in the world, I can't imagine. And even if I were in it, I still wouldn't be able to imagine what you are feeling or what you're going through. We
Right.
all are experiencing it in our own way from our own past experiences and however we do it. But at the same time, we can understand usually that we have a choice of how we want to move forward from things. And that if you're in this belief system, you understand that that causes the next iteration of experience
Right.
and reality to occur. So what do I want to have happen? What do I want to be experiencing? Do I want more of this garbage that I obviously am in right now? If I do, then I'll just keep that vibration. I'll stay the course with that. I'll add my anger to it. I'll add my resentment to it. I'll tell everybody else I know about it. I'll put it on social. I mean, you can do whatever you want,
And that just grows it.
but you're just, like Ann said, you're just growing it. The thing you don't like, the thing that you say you don't like, that has made you miserable, that you're so upset about and angry about, you're giving that all your power.
Right.
Why are you doing that? Because either you've forgotten the truth of who you are or how it works. And now,
Right. And that is what, the first 64 pages, I
Yeah,
think, in
something
the
like
Science
that,
of
yeah.
Mind book, maybe 164, I'm not sure. But it's, it's a huge, Science of Mind textbook is a huge book, but it's like this first 4 chapters or 5 chapters, and then him telling you those first 5 chapters again and again and again in different ways. And then you go to a service of New Thought people that teach Ernest Holmes, and you will hear the same things. And basically, the number one thing we believe is we are one. We are one. We are eternal beings, and we're one. So
We come from the same source.
That is it.
We're
That is
from
it.
one thing
Yeah, that is just,
in this unique little
Yeah.
drops of it everywhere.
right.
Mm.
Are you going back to your Rumi quote?
You know I love Rumi.
I know. So one of the things though I really wanted to address with this topic was I speak my word for good and it manifests now. Well, now is awfully specific, Reverend Dr. Michelle.
Not really. Depends on what you consider now.
This now
Are you talking about this now or this
This
now or
or this
this now? Which now?
Now. Now.
Yeah.
So there may be some interpretation to now. Yes, there may
Just
be.
saying.
And I can see people being a little frustrated by that because
There's only one now.
there's only one now.
And
But I want it
it's
now. I want to know.
Isn't it now?
Mhm.
When is it now?
And time is a construct.
See how God does that?
Yeah, it's just, time is
Mhm.
irrelevant. And the past, the future, the present is all happening now.
Not
So-
to hurt your brains.
Yeah,
On
I won't
Sunday,
quantum
just
physics you to
sorry,
death,
but
but
yes.
yeah, that's what's
It
happening
is
now.
happening now. Now.
Yeah,
I
and so
know.
that is a hard one for people to grasp.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we encourage you not to worry about the now. Just be in the now and,
Exactly.
just be as present as you can.
One of the biggest things when I am working as a practitioner of science of mind and being with someone who is experiencing a life quake, and they say, here's my story. And they give me the story, and then my first question to them is, how do you want to feel? Right? Because generally our story is telling us about how we're feeling right at that moment, and we're not happy with it. We don't want to feel sad, depressed, angry, resentful, vindictive, or whatever is causing us the stress, right? We want to feel something else. We want to feel peace. We want to feel calm. We want to feel loved, loving, lovable, whatever it is. And so when we work with how I want to feel instead of how I'm feeling in that previous moment, then that's how we change the now moment, right? That's where we look at, that's the affirmative prayer that I work with, in consciousness, is about feeling that now.
And for me, that's when I think about now and having it manifest now. I always, I'm impatient. I'm an impatient. I'm an
Yeah, me
impatient
too.
person. I guess we're both just gonna share all
Yeah.
our flaws on the side of this.
That's
morning.
what we're doing today.
Just dumping it out. No, but I'm very impatient, so I want it right now. But what is now? I want it right now. Right, this breath, this second. Now? I want it right now. But I haven't. But if I'm being honest with myself, I haven't aligned my inner being with that being right now. Maybe I just got it in check. And I really feel like if I don't like what I'm experiencing right now, then I can change that, but I'm still going to walk through what I have already created. I'm still going to need to move through that now to get to the now that I am manifesting through this new thinking, through this intentional thinking, and a different way of dealing with whatever it is I'm dealing with.
And it goes back to the concept of time again, right?
It really does.
When we say, I want $1 million.
I would
Okay,
like that now.
right. I would like that now.
I would like that right now.
And we, say, hey, you said now, so the ceiling should open up and it should just drop here.
Right? Why doesn't it work like that?
That would be amazing
Why doesn't
and
it work
awesome.
like that?
And I'd have more people in the audience if stuff like that happened.
Yeah.
I get it. However, what you were saying about alignment. So when we talk about now, in the concept of time and consciousness, right? This 100 years, 1,000 years, 5,000 years, quantum second are all the same thing. So as we're operating in, I told you I was going to quantum physics you to death. I apologize. It's the class I'm
She's
in.
in a class right now.
And so as we are operating and learning to come to a level of acceptance and openness of receiving and understanding, right? That's happening at whatever pace we're capable of. And as that happens, we're lining up to that $1 million, for an example, right? So you worked for 50 years. You know, you probably did make $1 million over that time period, or something at that million's not as much as we think, you know? It's not as much as we think it is anymore.
Not when
you
it's in little pieces.
Yeah,
In a
like,
big chunk. you're like,
because,
"Ooh."
you know, we probably did, you know? Do those type of things, hold that consciousness for that, and move through that. And so that is where it's like we're preparing ourselves to accept something that is higher than we're able to raise our acceptance level to. So that is where we're at. And anybody that was ever, you know, part of Creative Living Fellowship and Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington, you know, that is that raising the, you know, the goal. What was the, I can't remember what but the upper limit, the greater upper limit that we get stuck at in our consciousness. I can only make this amount of money, or I can only lose this amount of weight, or I can, whatever your I can onlys, right, that seem reasonable to you. It's the reasonability that we put on that limits us. This seems reasonable for a woman who's 60 to be able to do this, that, or the other thing, right? Get rid of your reasonability. Stop it. Just stop it.
I like that attitude you're having
Right?
right there. Yeah, knock it off.
Knock it
Just
off.
knock it off. You're deciding already what those
What those things are.
are, and then you're living in them and wondering why you're not able to move outside of them.
Right.
Right? Yeah, and I lost my train of thought. What you were saying was so good, and I had something for you, and I didn't write it down.
And
So
that's
bad.
why you have that book.
I know, and I forgot. I was so enthralled with where you were going. Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a reading
Do
when
that,
you get it
because I'll
back.
probably get
All right. So this is about 10 pages later. It's page 77. And it says, learn to sit at home with cause, to reaffirm your position in life, to remold your consciousness, and you will see that the reflections will change. Just as a gardener pulls up old plants that are no longer desirable, so you will uproot the images of thought which you no longer wish to experience. You will plant new thoughts in the garden of your mind, and you will reap a new harvest. And he says, say, I know that I can make conscious use of the divine law of my being. I know that this law reacts immediately and creatively to my faith. I know that when I speak this word for myself, there is a direct reaction toward me. I know that when I speak it for others, there is a direct reaction toward them. There is no doubt or uncertainty in my consciousness. I identify myself with the good I desire. I have complete confidence that the law of good will respond to me by creating the object of this desire. I have a quiet contentment and an inner sense of peace. I have an enthusiastic sense of well-being. I know that all power there is for me. Therefore, I put the whole armor of faith. I am free spirit. I am perfect life. I am in conscious union with the God who is right where I am.
I love that. God, which is
Right where I am.
Perfect union.
Perfect union.
And you are. That's exactly what it is. You are the cause. Not the first cause. That's the big guy. But you're the cause of all of this effect that's happening. And what I was going to say earlier is, when I think about Think and Grow Rich, the book that everybody use
yeah.
to get those millions of dollars, right? Like, ooh, that book, Think and Grow Rich, maybe I'll read that and I'll be able to get my $1 million. Okay, well, they have a very simple formula in there, which I don't have to memorize, but the gist is, this is what I want. So it could be anything, it doesn't have to be money. This is what I want to be experiencing in my life, and what am I willing to do in return? And I will feel it, and I will, put myself in that feeling of it and the emotion of it as if it's already been done, and there you go, send it off. And every day you do that for 2 minutes or whatever it says in the book, I don't remember. But the thing is, that most people, a lot of times, people know what they want. They're not willing to do the things that come to them that they need to do to acquire whatever that next thing that they're trying to manifest. So, like I said, I want $1 million. What am I willing to do in exchange for it? You'll get lots of ideas. Or if I want to weigh 125 pounds, I know exactly how to do that. But am I willing to do that? Am I going to be starting to do that? Am I going to do the things that align with that? That I already know is the truth, is the way that I need to move. So it's like when they say act as if you already have had it, and you already start to move that way. And then those things start to draw to you. But instead, a lot of times what we do is we act opposite. Or like when if I say to myself, I have $1 million in my bank account right now, all of a sudden I get this little twinge in there that goes, no, you don't. It's not true. You don't have $1 million in bank account. And it's like, shut up, Obrina, I'm not manifesting. Just be quiet for a second. But there's that part of you that fights you and fights you. And instead just say, what is it that you are fighting? What don't you believe? Why don't you believe I have that? And then whatever.
Like, because I see your ATM card.
I know I can't go shopping spree right now because of that. But it doesn't mean, it means that it is yours to have. You have it. You already have it. But if you're not moving on the same path as it, or you're not, tuned into the right radio station, you're not going to hear that song you want to hear. If you're listening to rock and roll station, but you want to listen to a country song and you're on the rock and roll station, you're never going to get that country song because you just didn't tune into it. Not that it's not playing over there already.
Right.
You didn't go there. You didn't move the dial. And you knew what you had to do. Oh, I have to move the dial to 102.5 and I will get this country station. But you don't do it. And I'm as guilty as anybody else. Life gets busy. I sit down and I have that quiet moment, like the book said, and I think about my cause and what and I think about all the things, and I get a whole plan. I'm ready to go. And then the next, maybe I'm good for a day, but life starts to kick back up, and other people have their life around my life, and it goes my life, and now and again, what happened to my manifesting right now? I believe it's still right there. I just haven't moved into it.
And there are so many, Science of Mind isn't the only, philosophy that talks about that, right? And if you've ever listened to Abraham Hicks, Abraham talks about it, this is one of those universal truths. If you become aligned with what it is you want, then it manifests. And that goes back to what I was saying about the feeling. The feeling of having $1 million is different than the feeling of wanting $1 million.
So different.
Yeah. So the feeling of being healthy, whole, and complete is different than the wanting of it, right? And a lot of times I don't move out of the wanting without being aware that that's what I'm doing. So there is stuff to ponder, I guess. I'm a big morning pages type of person, and to see, and like I said earlier, the thing that came up for me this week on the why I don't think it's about me isn't because I'm grown, it's because I never think it's about me. I try to make it about me. So, we all have our things that come up for us, as these human forms that we're learning and growing and becoming and sharing with each other. And that's probably one of the most amazing parts of life, is being able to be a witness to other people's growth, right? And to, and to know how that happens, watching it year by year and saying, oh, wow, I remember when that was not something that you could acknowledge. And now here you are here. So I think it's awesome that we do these things, that we become more each and every year.
I agree with that. The witnessing thing is really cool. When your tribe, someone in your tribe has been, something is going on and they're trying to move through that and then the thing happens, it's so cool to have gotten to be a part of someone else's life. You know, not only is it really cool just to have life and move your own life around and see how that goes, but then to have people that you care about their life and you watch them do the same stuff with their life, you know, sometimes it's hard things and you get to be there for them, what an honor. And sometimes it's the joyous things, you get to be there, how cool is that? You know, like I agree with that. It's fun to watch other people manifesting. It's hard to watch them manifesting what they don't want. And you know what they're
Right.
doing. But at the same time, what I try to do with that comes is I have to honor other people's journeys too. You know, it's very easy to say, well, that's not gonna work if you do that because, yeah,
Yeah.
but that's not my, I mean, if they ask me for advice or they ask me to help them or what should I do, that's one thing. But to rob somebody of the same experience I had, which got me to where I feel like I am right now, and I have still, we all still will always forever have so far to go. Like if someone had taken me out of some of those steps that I took or some of those things that caused me to have to look at myself or learn from myself or whatever, those moments are invaluable. But it's very painful to watch somebody else going through it. You
Sure.
want to just go grab them and say, no, you're doing it all wrong. Let me show you how you do it. This is how you're going to move. But you got to let them have that journey too, because when you do experience the manifestation and you know that's the first time you really recognize that came from me. That came from me and my mind, and I worked on all that and I manifested this. I really am a creator. I really am designing my life. Holy cow.
Right.
That's an incredible feeling and experience, and you have to let other people do that for themselves as much as you're doing it for yourself, you know. But I love the witnessing and then getting to witness other people's movements is very cool. I
Yes.
agree with that. It's a
And-
beautiful thing.
I absolutely agree with giving people the dignity of their own decision-making process, you know, like you said. There are so many things, if somebody had tried to save me from it,
Yeah.
that I wouldn't have some of the strengths and abilities that I have today. And, you know, and it really has led to compassion in areas that, you know, I have more in because I have that experience of.
Yeah.
Where maybe someone else doesn't, you know. And there, you know, that's the whole benefit of 12-step programs, right? And why they work is because you're going to a meeting with like-minded people who have experienced like-minded situations and have done something a certain way to stop experiencing this pain,
Right.
you know. And so, you know, 100 years later, this is why it's working, because, you know, one person told another person, and that's, you know, that sharing thing. And I really feel that in our tribe as well. You know, there have been so many different experiences that we've had collectively and independently that we've watched each other grow through,
Mhm.
for sure. So
Incredible.
it is incredible. It's an amazing, you know, it's an amazing time to be alive right now in human consciousness because, and I'm going to put it out there, because of all the chaos and drama, right? Opportunity comes from these challenges when obstacles can become our allies. So, you know, I really want to put it out there that what is happening in the world experience right now is for us to wake up and be a part of consciously, you know, keep yourself safe, consciously to be more love, more joy, more peace in scenarios that maybe the other person is unaware of how to do that. You know, that is like where my goal in life is today, is like, how can I be love, joy, and peace where someone else only sees conflict?
Right. And I think we've talked about this many times, that's our superpower, the ability to put that into the quantum field and affect everyone, every being, every, universe. When we maybe aren't happy with things or something does upset our spirit and we do feel the negative side of life, we can flip that around. We can stay there too
Mhm.
and add to that.
Sure.
It's very, yeah, that's sometimes feels easier. Or we can flip it around and say, well, I'll go be loved today then. I didn't see a lot of love on the news last night. I didn't feel a lot of, joy and kindness. So I'm gonna flip that around. I'm gonna go be that today. And I'm gonna look for where I can be that today. That's a hero. That's a warrior right there, going out and doing what needs to be done. I think that's a lot of our calling too.
Absolutely.
And just like I was telling my husband the other day, when I look at things in the world, my heart is super, super sensitive, like I'm sure a lot of us are. I have a really hard time hearing about some of the things, so I usually ask to not be told some things. And I can't, because I can't go over there and do anything about it anyway. But then I think to myself, but in my community, I can look around my community and do what I can right here. And if everybody would look out, like, I don't know, a mile radius from wherever
Right.
you are and do what you can right there, eventually we're gonna hit everywhere because it's just gonna ripple effect. But to think of things that are across the globe that I can't get to and are so upsetting to me, and then I just feel paralyzed. I feel overwhelmed and paralyzed, and I can wallow in that misery about it and then do nothing other than add to it. So that stuff's very difficult. And then instead, what I've done, instead of dealing with, instead of allowing that to happen, is to flip that around and look at right out my back door, right out my front door, what is happening here that I can insert what I want to see in the world, how I want people to treat each other, how I want, it to look like when I move around, knowing, and it gives me great comfort to know that the quantum field exists. The spirit, we are all one. It gives me great comfort to know that because I know I can cause good. I can manifest good right now. And that's how I combat that. That's how I use a lot of my word. It's my word for good, and I manifest it now in spite of maybe something else going on.
I love that because yes, the quantum field, I love that you said that the quantum field gives you great comfort. I feel that as well. I feel that the quantum field, in that knowing that there is infinite possibilities for things to happen and that what I can collapse for good in the quantum field is about that moment that I reach out, whether it's, helping an unhoused person, get a hot dog or, whatever, somebody, there's a need that isn't, outside of your reach. It's just right there and it takes nothing to do and it'll affect you none, but it changes the person in front of you.
Right.
I remember in 2020 when COVID just shut us all down, there was a level of love that came through, the fear and the experiences where people were so much more compassionate and giving. I just remember, there were free things online to do with art and with music, and people were just doing things to participate in creativity and open it up to others. Like this wasn't a money-making thing that they had going on. They were looking to give creativity to the world, and it was just so amazing. And a lot of those artists are still out there, still doing it, that kind of thing. And it really changed our perception of connection when the way we could connect only was technologically, right? That was the only way we could connect in 2020. And what a difference. Like Dakota and I in 2020, our travel was I would order from different restaurants throughout the United States and have stuff sent to me. So like I have never been to New Orleans, but I ordered, alligator and beignets and, all kinds of weird stuff from like this Cajun store to have come out. Yeah, it was so cool. And Cat's Deli in New York, we got Passover meal from. Like, we just did different things so that we could travel in our mind, type of thing, and experience new culture and new food. Yeah, it was also the reason of my glasses, because, and my $5 jewelry. That had to spend my money somewhere. Most people would have thought of saving it. Not I. I just had to experience life because it felt like it was so fleeting at that moment, so. And I know a lot of people right now feel that as well with the state of our world. So, going back to those connections, those technological connections where, yes, I might not be right here to touch you, or Michelle might not be right here to touch you, but we are available for you. We're here.
Right.
You can come to the room if you're in Phoenix, but if you can't, reach out to us. We're here to be part of your tribe and open our hearts and to be able to be there to help you experience the things that are hard right now.
Right. Yeah, we definitely can reach out to us through we have different feeds. We have our YouTube feed, which you may be watching right now, or our Facebook group, which is Sofa Sundays. You can become a member there, and you can access us there, message us there. Also on Instagram, you can message us through Instagram.
And our
Sofa Sundays.
website, beginwithinministries.com.
Mhm.
Our emails are there. I think even our phone
Possibly
numbers
phone
are there.
numbers are there.
So there are many ways to be able to get in contact with us if you need us,
And that is beginwithinministries.com in case you can't read up there.
Yes, in
But
case you can't read it.
beginwithinministries.com is our website, and you're definitely welcome to go there. And yeah, we want to be here for you, so don't feel like that's strange.
Right.
We'd love to see you in person. So much more energy in person.
Right, absolutely. We love when our online people become our in-house people.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I love it. What about you guys? Any commentary from the gallery? They're thinking.
You're thinking not today.
Lyrics ready? Lyrics like some of them.
Lyrics like, come on, somebody put their hand up.
So ready to bring a mic. No, guys are good. Yeah, it's a third week of April.
It is the third week of April.
It was Christmas last week.
I know.
I
It's just,
know, I was
I
like-
don't understand.
I was just talking about, because World Labyrinth Day is coming up May 2nd. Usually I do it over at NBC with their group there. This year I'll be in Prescott that weekend. So I was thinking about labyrinths this morning, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll go over to the labyrinth after service today. And I was like, wow, that seems like just yesterday that we did our labyrinth walk, and it was 4 months ago, 4.5 months ago. Like, that is crazy to me.
So no time like the present to start manifesting, because now is now.
That's
And
right.
it happens now, it happens fast.
It really does.
Even though it feels slow, it happens fast. Like
It
all of a
really
sudden you're
does.
in this now, or
Yeah,
you were in that now. Like it's what?
it does happen
So yeah,
quickly.
let's start putting that, what you are manifesting, start that now so that you can experience it now.
Now. Oh, see,
Uh-oh.
we knew we'd get a
I
hand.
triggered it. Here you go.
It's funny that we're talking about time in the passage of, I was thinking 2020 was 6 years ago, but it seems like
Seems like-
yesterday because it was a seminal
Yes.
period
So
in the
tough.
life of everybody. And it literally, I cannot believe it was 6 years ago.
Right.
But, so the now thing is like, yes, it was now. That totally makes sense.
You're right.
Because it was just so impactful for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And exactly,
Still
like
is affecting.
9/11, same thing,
Oh, 9/11.
right? 9/11, the same thing. And now the kids that were little, right, during that time period are grown
It's
adults.
ancient history.
Yeah,
And all
like
they've ever seen it is on a
on
video.
the
if their
news
teacher
or
shows it to them.
yeah.
They don't even.
they, so it's crazy. But that was another time period where the human race in the United States did a collective love, right? There was so much love. And I feel how horrible that we have to come to a brink of extinction in some way, shape, or form for us to know that we love each other
Yeah.
and that we're connected. Like, why is that how we reach out to others in love? I guess that boggles my mind still. You know, that this should be who we are always. And I am not blaming because I do it too.
Right.
You know, that's a thing. We get caught up in our own world.
But that is who we are always. We just
We just
we
forget.
forget.
Yes.
Yeah, my husband just did a post recently where he was kind of saying that, like, you hear all this stuff and people are, but he's like, but I have to believe that most Americans love each other. That most Americans love each other and care about each other. And if something would happen, they would do something about it. They would help each other. That these people that are out here saying these negative things about whatever, different races, different whatever it is, he says, I cannot believe that is the main heartbeat. I have to believe that Americans, because he's from England, he chose to become an American citizen because he, from England, saw America as the dream. And sometimes he gets really heartbroken about what he sees here because he's like, I thought this was a whole different thing. Like, I lived in La La Land and about America.
He takes it hard.
He takes it really hard. He's super sensitive about it because it crushes him at his soul from when he was a little kid. That his dream was, America was a big thing. And so that's what he said recently on this post was that I have to believe that the true heartbeat of Americans are that we love each other and that we would help each other, that we care about each other. And I said, well, you know that's true. Every time we have something that happens, that does show up. That
Yes.
is the number one thing that shows up. No matter man, woman, child, whatever your color is, doesn't matter. We do all do that because we forget the other stuff for a moment and we remember our true selves, our true heart. And then that goes away,
Then
life starts
life-
happening and we
Yeah.
start forgetting that part and we get back into these patterns and this BS and what you see on TV and whatever. But so I think every once in a while we need to wake up, like, hello, this is your truth. The
And
truth
that
this.
is how, and I spoke about this last week about the finger, about that quantum leap, right? Sometimes it does take something so major
Yeah.
to shake us to our core, back to who we really
Yes.
are.
Yes.
And
Just
so if
stay
you're
there, please.
feeling that, if you're feeling shook to your core, remember, that is the purpose of that, is that quantum leap to be all. I don't want to sound like an army commercial, but to be all you can be.
Yes. Can we please do that? Can we please be what we are here to actually be? What we really are. Can we be our truth, please?
Be our true
You know,
selves,
get
yes.
get all that other stuff out of us and let's just love each other. Let's just care about each other. My husband was trying to think if I already told you. I don't think I told you this. My husband was in an event, and as he's sitting there at this event, he notices some people. There's like different rows of people in front of him, and there's an elderly couple about 2 rows up, and there's speakers at the front looking this way, and there's people all around. And this woman was like, oh my gosh, and everybody's like, what's the, oh my gosh, and they look over, and then there's an elderly gentleman is bleeding out of his leg, he's bleeding. And my husband's like, oh my goodness, you know, and he's looking and he's thinking, surely someone's going to do something, right? Because he doesn't know these people.
Right.
And there's people right around him, his wife's there and whatever, but nobody's doing anything. And he's like, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, hello. And then even people talking, we kind of were like this and they just kept going. No one did anything. And apparently the gentleman didn't feel it happen because he has, I think it was diabetes, like his legs aren't sensitive. So he didn't feel that he had gouged himself and then he was seriously bleeding out of his leg. Like seriously, if nobody had even noticed, I don't know that he would have known. It could have been like a bad
Wow,
situation
yeah.
where you pass out and everybody's like, oh, he's fell asleep. Cute. No, not cute. But anyway, my husband said it felt like forever, but I probably only about 10, 15 seconds went by. I'm like, well, if no one's going to do anything, my God, you know, like what's going on? So he went and grabbed the guy and took him out of the room and did a tourniquet, called 911, like got him all, and he saved it. They feel like he saved his life, and they took him to breakfast yesterday, and then wanted to call and meet me over the phone. So he FaceTimed me, and the guy was like very serious and told me this man, nobody else. He got up, he came over, he picked me up, and I was like, you know, and my husband's like, see, I talk about this all the time. This is who we really are. I don't know what, you got people that aren't doing anything. They're just shocked. They're not doing anything. They're just free. They don't know what to do. But then you've got
They're
people.
afraid of what people will think, they're
That
afraid they do the
too.
wrong thing. They're
I
afraid
know,
of
and I said, if anybody should be worried about that, it should be my husband, this big 6'8" black guy, like, okay, excuse me, sir, I'm gonna pick you up right now, like, I'm taking you out of the room. But, you know, like he said, I kept waiting to see, is anybody else? Nobody else, okay, I guess it's me. There. So, but this is like, we have to get to where we get back to our true selves and we do something about it. Have to do something, help each other.
I stumbled onto a really cool TV show, and maybe everybody else knows about it, but I didn't, call What Would You Do? And it's hosted by a news guy, and I can't think of his name, but anyway, they create these false scenarios where people, like somebody's being nasty to a kid, or somebody's stealing something, to see what people that are out there would do. And it's amazing how many people will step forward and how many people won't step forward. And they really give kudos to the people who step forward, because some people who step forward are so passionate about, well, you know, this wasn't right, I had to do something. And the other people are just like, well, I figured somebody else would do it. So it's just a fascinating look at how people respond to things. And that sounds like this very scenario, yeah.
I've seen things like that where you've had like,
What would you do?
What would you do?
they might be the same show, but they do little clips on Instagram where like you'll have a woman walking through a mall and she walks up to groups of men or men or couples and walk up and go, can you please help me? Can you please help me? And then they're like, what? And then another man comes up behind her and grabs her. And they're like, well, they would just watch her get pulled away. They don't do anything. They keep going. And it's just interesting, like how many times she'll have to go before someone will be like, grab her back. Like, whoa, dude, don't stop. What's going on? And do something about it. But over and over, people have been like, they just watch her walk, like, oh, that's too bad. And don't do anything. It's so weird. Yeah. Or the kid sitting there and having something happen. And the people don't do anything. And then all of a sudden you get somebody who does. So I don't know. But yeah, it's a tough thing. My husband was really frustrated about that, but I said, well, maybe I'm
Good for you
proud
for
of
doing
you.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then these people could see like, there's no barrier there. There's no black or white there. My husband just sees somebody that needs help and he's gonna go help. And the gentleman was so kind and they took him out to breakfast and they looked like probably when my husband gets so much stuff on Instagram about color, and then he has this happen. He said on his, he has a video he'll put out about it where he said, it's not about that.
Right.
That has to not, it can't be about that. It has to be about, there's another human being who needed my help. And that's it. That has to be, we have to, and so it goes beyond color, it goes beyond everything else. We need to love each other. We need to see those moments and we need to step up and just love each other, even if you don't know what to do. Maybe you see that and you go, hey man, I can't do blood. I don't know what to do.
Call 911.
Yeah, somebody do something,
Yeah.
like do something. You don't have to be the savior every time, but like
Right.
you see it, don't just go, oh, that's too bad. Just,
Somebody else to take care of it.
yeah, like, no, let it be you. Can you do something, you
Right.
know? Don't be afraid of that. Just go.
Just do.
Just
Gotcha.
be you. Just be you, boo.
All righty. I love it.
Anything else from the gallery? No? Okay.
All righty. You gonna pray us out?
Wow, do it.
All right.
I love it. Oh my goodness, let's breathe that in. Feel that energy. Feel it move through your body. Move through this moment. In this now moment. Recognizing the one power, one presence, one life, one divine energy that moves in as and through each one of us, through everything. It is all there is. It is first cause. It is love. It is the connection that we feel between us, that thing we feel. And each one of us are the perfect manifestation of the one thing, of God, of that divine energy. Each one of us, we are that love. We are it. It is all that we are. And from the place of my knowing, my truth, for myself, for everyone here present, and for anyone who hears my voice later and beyond, I speak my word for all of us, knowing that as we allow ourselves to be present in the now, as we speak good over ourselves, over others, over situations, over our world, that we manifest good. We manifest what we truly want to be experiencing. We cause that ripple effect for good for all of us. It is our superpower. And as we allow ourselves to be present, to be in the now, we use it intentionally. We use it for good. We use it for love. We use it for the connection, for the joy. And I'm grateful for each one of us. I'm grateful for the quantum field and how it works. I'm so grateful to know how it works. And that at any time I can reset, realign, repurpose. And so I let this moment, this now time go. I know that it has been divinely guided and truly blessed, and each one of us is better, empowered, filled with ideas from the sharings, from each other being here present, and from the knowing of our truth. So let it go. Together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Lovely, thank you. So if this was what you felt you needed today, and you'd
Amen.
like to join us, please like and subscribe so that you will never miss a Sofa Sundays. And if you are watching us on Instagram, same. Join us on our Facebook group called Sofa Sundays. And if you'd like to become a Sofa Sundays Begin Within Ministry partner, then go to our website, beginwithinministries.com, and you can make a one-time donation, or you can become a spiritual church club partner for
Allow them in the house.
$45 a month or $75 for a couple and family. So we are just so grateful that you're here today, or if you're watching us later, we're grateful you found us, and we hope to see you again very soon.
We do. Next week, actually.
Next week, we'll see you then.
See you then.
Bye.
Thanks for watching. Tune in again next week at 11:11 a.m. Pacific Time, or Monday evening at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. In partnership with New Thought Media Network.